Well, well, looky what I stumbled upon. Global elite picked Obama long before voters. Who is Tom Fife? Tom Fife was a government contractor with an active security clearance who took notes on his trips for Defense Intelligence Agency debriefings within the Department of Defense. In 1992, following an astounding conversation at a dinner party in Moscow, he took down notes for future reference. It was long before the world ever heard the name Barack Obama. Here's his tale. He writes, during the period of roughly February 1992 to mid-94, I was making frequent trips to Moscow in the process of starting a software development joint venture company with some people from the Russian scientific community. One of the men in charge on the Russian side was named VM. He had a wife named TM. V was a level-headed scientist, while his wife was rather deeply committed to the losing communist cause. Early in '92, the American half of our venture was invited to V and T's Moscow flat as we were about to return to the States. As the evening wore on, T developed a decidedly rough anti-American edge, one her husband tried to quietly rein in. The bottom line of the tirade she started against the United States went something like this. Quote, you Americans always like to think that you have the perfect government and your people are always so perfect. Well then, why haven't you had a woman president by now? You had a chance to vote for a woman vice president and you didn't do it. The general response went along the lines that you don't vote for someone just because of their sex. Besides, you don't vote for vice president, but the president and vice president is a ticket. She says, well, I think you are going to be surprised when you get a black president very soon, she said. The consensus we expressed was that we didn't think there was anything innately barring that. The right person at the right time, and sure, America would try to vote for the right person, be he or she black or not. She continues, what if I told you that you will have a black president very soon and he will be a communist? She said. Well, you will, and he will be a communist. One of us asked, it sounds like you know something we don't know. She says, yes, it is true, she replied. This is not some idle talk. He is already born and he is educated and being groomed to be president right now. You will be impressed to know that he has gone to the best schools of presidents. He is what you call Ivy League. You don't believe me, but he is real, and I even know his name. His name is Barack. His mother is white and American, and his father is black from Africa. That's right, a chocolate baby, and he's going to be president. She became more and more smug as she presented her stream of detailed knowledge and predictions so matter-of-factly, as though all were foreseen conclusions. It's all been thought out. His father is not an American black, so he won't have that social slave stigma. He is intelligent and he is half white and has been raised from the cradle to be an atheist and a communist. He's gone to the finest schools, he is being guided every step of the way, and he will be irresistible to America. Unquote. She was obviously happy that the communists were doing this and that it would somehow be a thumbing of their collective noses at America. They would give us a black president and he'd be a communist to boot. She made it obvious that she thought that this was going to breathe new life into world communism. She always asserted that communism was far from dead. She was full of details about him that she was eager to relate. She rattled off a complete litany. He was from Hawaii. He went to school in California. He lived in Chicago. He was soon to be elected to the legislature. Quote, have no doubt, he is one of us, a Soviet, unquote. Since I dabbled in languages, I knew a smattering of Arabic. I commented, if I remember correctly, Barak comes from the Arabic word for blessing. That seems to be an odd name for an American. She replied quickly, yes, it is African, she insisted, and he will be a blessing for world communism. He will regain our strength and become the number one power in the world. She said something to the effect that America was at the same time the great hope and the great obstacle for communism. America would have to be converted to communism, and Barack was going to pave the way. So what does this conversation from 1992 prove? Well, it's definitely anecdotal. It doesn't prove that Obama has had Soviet communist training, nor that he was groomed to be the first black American president, but it does show one thing that I think is important. It shows that Soviet Russian communists knew of Barack from a very early date. It also shows that they truly believed among themselves that he was raised and groomed communist to pave the way for the future. This report on Barack came personally to me from one of them long before America knew he existed. Although I had never before heard of him at the time of this conversation, Obama was 30 plus years old and was obviously tested enough that he was their anticipated rising star. And then there's this gem. Barack Obama never even attended Columbia University, says his graduating class. So where did he go? Where did Barack Obama Jr. go when he was supposedly at Columbia University? Well, in 91, Barack Jr. was summoned by Zbigniew Brzezinski, then a communist studies professor at Columbia University in New York City. Since Barack had very low marks at Occidental University, he couldn't be admitted to Columbia, so he was placed in their foreign student program and shipped to Moscow. He attended, here it is, Barack attended Patrice Lumumba University in Moscow between 1981 and 1983, which is a college for third world potential communist leaders. Barack graduated in 1983 with a bachelor's degree in Marxism and a minor in atheism. I've been calling this guy a Marxist the entire time. Lo and behold. Because he's got all the marks of a Marxist. He's a provocateur. He's stirring up trouble between everyone, religions, race, gender now. I mean, this guy is nothing but a Marxist provocateur. He is causing the division of America. He is an agent. And yes, he was born in Kenya. Here's his birth certificate, the actual certificate, sealed and everything, from a hospital in Mombasa. Here's a certified copy of his birth certificate from the registrar, signed by the deputy registrar. Here it is, half of it, half of the certified copy. Here's the bottom half. There's a signature. Even the Nairobi Standard, back in June 27th of 2004, admitted Obama was born in Kenya. Kenyan-born Obama, all set for U.S. Senate. And here's the Welcome to Kenya sign, where it's very plainly stated in black and white, birthplace of Barack Obama. So, what does this mean? It means Barack Obama Jr. is a fraud. He's a traitor. He's ineligible to be president. It means that he should be arrested first and foremost and tried by a jury of his peers. And all the laws he has signed and all the legislation he has signed is null and void. Every order he has made is null and void. And we can disregard all his history from 2009 to 2016. All his presidential actions, all his words. He is a traitor and needs to be arrested. There you have it. Some sheriff in America, some authority figure needs to arrest Barack Obama and get him out of the presidency before your way of life is annihilated. And it's already started. The race war has already started. We have like no time left. So have at it.